Hello, thanks for tuning in. This is yet another video of me showing off some records I bought on eBay, so I hope that you'll stay with me for the next 10 minutes or so while I unpack. I've already preliminary used a Stanley knife and opened them, but I haven't actually looked in to see what's inside. And I've been bidding on a lot of records recently and buying quite a few, so you know, I've sort of forgotten what's in the box, so you'll get some reaction from me. And bear in mind that records that I buy on eBay, they're records that I've got a specific particular interest in, so they're going to be probably more interesting than those charity shop haul videos that I do, because when I go to a charity shop and everything's a pound, when it is a pound, then obviously I'm buying records. Probably if I think it's worth, you know, more than that amount of money, I'll buy it, even if maybe I don't particularly want it, just to have it in stock as a seller, because I also sell records from my website and I also sell records on eBay now. Below in the description you can find a link to my web shop and also my eBay listings. So yeah, because I'm trying to make a bit of money to pay for this damned expensive hobby. Now then, let's have a look and see what I've got. So I've got two packages here. One is a small package with I think maybe one or two records in it, or even just one, and then there's another one with several in it. So let's have a look through, see what I've bought. This is the first one. It's been well packaged. I always recycle my packaging because I sell records as well, and believe it or not, I've not had to buy any packaging materials, which probably tells you that I buy in about the same number that I sell. Alright, I've had a couple of large orders from overseas where I've had to pack about 40 or 50 records into a large box, so yeah, well that's true. And thank goodness for that, because without those orders I wouldn't have been buying in so many records. Okay, so let's have a look at this one and see what we've got here. So I've been kind of moaning a bit about losing records on auctions, on eBay auctions. Well, I found a solution for that. If you want a record, you've got to bite the bullet, and you know, fortunately there are not too many crazy people out there prepared to pay big prices for some of the records that I'm interested in. And if I see a record I'm interested in, I just slap a big number on it. You know, I don't mess around. I slap a big number on it, a big bid, so that I haven't got to bite my nails and think, oh my god, what if somebody's going to snipe me at the end? You're going to beat me on that auction. You're going to have to pay big money for that record, I'll tell you. You're going to have to pay a lot of money if you're going to beat me on some of these auctions. And I don't care, because you know, I've got enough money to do the bidding and to get the records. I mean, I don't bid silly like £1,000 on a, you know, say on a £10 record, but I just make sure that there's plenty of room there, and it's going to be painful for somebody else to get that record if it's not going to be me. So yeah, that's the solution. You can't take any chances on eBay. Now, I've noticed some differences in the way that the bidding's going depending on who the seller is, so maybe I'm going to make another video about that. Because I've noticed that with some sellers I've always got competition, and with other sellers I've got no competition, and they're similar types of items. So what conclusion can you draw from that? Well, let's not talk about it at the moment. Let's get this record out, because this seller has actually taped them inside to stop them from moving around. That's okay. Ugh. Got it. Oops. I hope that doesn't mean he's really gone to town on the tape. Okay, so we got that out. What have we got here? Okay. Well, you can probably recognise that label for those of you who know your records, and that is actually Superfon. So I saw this one a couple of weeks ago, and you know something, that's been so thoroughly packed. I almost feel like starting this video and doing it again. Let's just see if I can get it out of here so that I can show you what it is. Now this is the thing, he's packed it so well that I've actually got to cut into the cellophane to get into it. There we go. I mean, without damaging the record as well. Let's just cut it open. Unbelievable the way he's done this, but okay, fair enough. He's obviously very thorough. Just be careful. Now I'd like to say that I'll tell you a little anecdote. I'll tell it now in case I forget it. But anyway, let me just show you this, what it is. So we've got Mozart, string quartets. We've got the numbers 20 to 23, which is K499, K575, 589 and 590. I think these are the 4 last quartets. Great works, absolute treasures of chamber music, and I was keen to have this. I really rate Czech musicians when it comes to the music of Mozart. Prague has got a very special relationship with Mozart because he travelled there. He went to Prague. Of course, we've got the Prague Symphony. He also composed Don Giovanni while he was there. So Mozart and Czechoslovakia have actually got quite a history between them. So here are the records. Yeah, 2 records, both stereo. If this was mono, I wouldn't be interested at all, of course. It's well packed. It looks like it's in lovely condition. I'm hoping that the records are going to be in good condition as well. They look great. Very nice. Yep. I mean, no spindle marks whatsoever on that one, and I'm sure the other one is probably the same. Okay, so how much did I pay for that? Actually, I think I did quite well on that. I mean, I don't think I paid more than about, how much? About £12 including shipping, absolute maximum. I think I paid less than that. So I'm delighted with that. I mean, think about the DG Original Source series. And they're releasing records, £35, £40 a piece for, you know, some of these old recordings. Karajan conducting the Verdi Requiem, and is it Karajan or is it Giulini? I can't remember, but I mean, some of these old DG recordings, and collectors are going out and spending like £35, £40 a piece on Original Source series just to get sound that's like that little bit better. And you can buy something amazing and wonderful like that from the actual era when it came out. 70s genuine record, a piece of history, contemporary with when the recording was made, closer in time to when the composition actually took place. So that to me is far more valuable than something like, you know, one of these reissues from after the year 2000. Okay, there we are. So I'm really delighted with that record. Oh yeah, let me tell you what happened once when I went into a charity shop. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen anything like this before. I bought a record in a charity shop. It was not a classical record. It was a pop record. I checked it over, looked at it, I was happy with it. It was about £4, and I went to buy it, and I handed it to the lady, and she started doing this. Right? She took it out, and I said, no. I said, please, put it back. I said, it's okay, I've checked it. You know, everything's fine, there's no need for that. Put it back. So why she would take it out, there's no need. Why is she going to take it out? Now, my reason for insisting that she put it back is that, as far as I'm concerned, once I've checked that record and I've decided to buy it, I don't want anybody else touching it. Because she might put a scratch on it. She might get it out and, oh, it's all right, sir, I'm just checking it for you. And she's got long fingernails, and she's had her nails done, you know, in one of these places, and puts a scratch on the record. Why would anybody do such a stupid thing? I mean, it's crazy. If I've gone up there with the record, I've already checked it, and okay, fair enough. I mean, I can imagine her maybe looking inside. Oh, is the record there? Yeah, but I mean, to get it out and start looking at it, absolute crazy. So yeah, I soon took care of that situation. Okay, so let's have a look. Oh, quite a few here. Let's see what we've got. I can't believe it. I'm nearly 10 minutes into this video and I've only done one record. Would you believe that? Okay, wow. Let's go through these. No, don't worry, you're not going to see any Leonid Kogans. And you'd be bored if you would. I mean, what are you going to say if I show you, oh, Brahms Violin Concerto, Leonid Kogan, SAX. Yeah, I paid £3 for that. I mean, you know, how interesting is that going to be? You've all seen these records before. There's no need for me to comment on why they're desirable and everything. It's better that I show you some records which I find interesting, why I find them interesting, records that you've probably never even seen before, because it might give you some ideas as well about, you know, possible collecting avenues, or just sort of to increase your knowledge. So, as you know, I'm no great big Yehudi Menuhin fan, because most of the records you see from Menuhin are quite recent. Well, sorry, not recent, but sort of recorded in the late 50s, 60s, when he was way past his best. Way past his best. And I've always said Menuhin's a good conductor, but he's not worth listening to from about the mid-50s onwards. It's not like Heifetz, who stayed good into his old age. And the reason that Heifetz stayed good into his old age, well, A, first of all, probably better violinist. B, he learnt in the Russian school, where they teach you absolutely how to keep the wrist relaxed, the shape of the fingers and everything and all that. He kept his form, you know, he kept all that, you know, right into his finishing days as a violinist. And Menuhin, I've seen him playing, you know, he plays, as he gets older, he's playing with stiffer and stiffer fingers, and I think his technique goes a bit, and he's probably not practicing as much, and he just wasn't as good a violinist as Heifetz was. But anyway, nevertheless, he was a great violinist, and I bought this, Yehudi Menuhin, on a label called Rococo, which is the name given to music as a sort of era of music. Of Mozart, the classical era, Rococo. So Menuhin, and we've got here 2 concertos, Viotti Concerto number 22, and we've got the Concerto for Violin and Orchestra, the so-called Adelaide Concerto, attributed to Mozart. Now, we don't know for sure that this is Mozart's concerto, but nevertheless, I found this interesting enough, and it's got Monteur conducting. So, yeah, there's the label. There's the Rococo label. Oops, you can see that. So that's mono, of course, and it was recorded when? It's a Canadian pressing, by the way. A Canadian pressing. I'm not sure when it recorded, but it's something like the 30s or 40s. So I'm hoping it's not going to be from the 78, by the way. I'm hoping it's going to be in the early days of magnetic tape. Okay, let's have a look and see what else I've got. Oh, okay. So we've got this. We've got Bloch, another violin record. Yeah, the reason I'm holding it at an angle is that I'm getting a reflection from my screen, and I don't want that to show. If I do that, perhaps, no, that's no good. Okay. So we've got, we've got Bloch, the composer Bloch. We've got, what have we got? What are the pieces? So we've got Sonata for Violin and Piano, and then we've got something called Suite Hebraic. I mean, I'm guessing that is possibly Hebrew suite or something. I'm just guessing. Yeah. So I don't know, that looks unusual to me, and I just sort of fancied having it. So yeah, Sonata for Violin and Piano, Bloch. I mean, didn't even know that there was such a piece. And there's the label, Pavan Records, stereo. Okay, so there we are. I mean, how many of you have seen that before? Probably not many of you, if any at all. Okay, so Chandos, excellent label, excellent digital label from the 80s. Chandos, I've never seen this one before. Brahms Serenade number 1 and variations on a theme by Haydn. Vernon Handley is the conductor. There we are. So quite like, I mean, I think I paid about £5 for that, to be honest with you, but oh, it's got a it's got a Nagoka sleeve in it, would you believe? Right, okay, let's keep going. Now this is the one I really wanted. In fact, I bid quite a bit on this, and I bid £20 on that, and I got it for 13. So, you know, I mean, that's one that I thought, I've got to have it. If somebody wants that, they're going to have to pay over £20 for it, and I got that for 13. I collect violin, I collect violinists. I've never heard of this violinist, and it looks sort of interesting. I like the repertoire, Bach, Partita, and Bartok. So yeah, Christina Bolze. Have a look at the label. The label. There's the label. Sorry, it's not very... I'll take that out just so you can see the label. There we are. Capella. I think I've heard of that label. It looks to me like it's an Austrian pressing maybe, or German. So there we are. I was pleased, very pleased to get that. Didn't want to let that go. Honestly, I'll probably never see that again for ages. So yeah, I bid £20 for it just to make sure that I nailed it. Let's keep going. Another one. Another very interesting record, as you can probably see just from looking at the jacket. Penderecki Sonata for Cello is the main reason I bought it. Sonata for Cello and it says here Sonata for Cello and Orchestra, and it's Siegfried Palm. He's the cellist. There are some other interesting pieces on it though. Psalms of David for choir and percussion. Anaclasis for strings and percussion. Stabat Mater for 3 choirs a cappella, and fluorescences for orchestra, and of course the Sonata for Cello. So yeah, I mainly got it for the Sonata for the Cello, and it's also on the Musa label. Now it is mono. I don't believe there's a stereo of this. I'm fairly sure there is not a stereo of this. Looking at the dates here, yeah, I don't think there is. So that's okay, I don't mind. I didn't pay too much for this one, but yeah, I'm pleased to get that. So you see, as I said, my interest in European labels is increasing. So Erato, Harmonia Mundi, you know, labels like that. Right. Okay, I also bought this one, and I was thinking, where are the records? Yeah, and he's put here LPs in box. So I got this. I think I had to pay a fair sum for this, not too much, not a massive amount. So I got Dvorak Cello Works, Concerto number 1, number 2 in B minor. I didn't know that Dvorak wrote a second cello concerto. We all know the famous concerto, but yeah, I didn't realise that. And there are some other pieces. Silent Woods for cello and orchestra, Rondo in G minor for cello and orchestra, as well as the 2, and Polonaise in A major. This is an absolutely superb collection of Dvorak's works for cello and orchestra. And I think I paid, I don't know, £15–16 for this. I think it was another one that I bid £20 on. I didn't think I'd get it for 20 actually, because I thought there'd be some big cello fans out there that would want this. It's a gatefold, of course, and it's got plenty of information about the pieces. So yeah, that's it's very pleasing to get that. And the cellist is Miloš Sadlo, if that's the pronunciation. Now the box that it's supposed to be in is this one. So I also wanted this, and I think I also bid about £20 on this just to make sure I get this. Mozart, the 6 string quartets dedicated to Haydn. Arguably the greatest series of string quartets ever composed, the most famous series of string quartets, the so-called Haydn quartets. Mozart loved Haydn so much as a composer and as a friend that he dedicated these to Haydn, and he put some of his best work into them. So they're all masterpieces, they're all absolute gems. Okay, so let's have a look. Yeah, so I've got those two, yeah, I've got those 2 Supraphons. So yeah, that's fine, they're the Dvorak Supraphons. And then we've got the CRDs. And the only thing that will disappoint me here is if there's no booklet, which there isn't. Where's the booklet for this? Oh dear, that really does disappoint me. I was expecting to find a booklet inside, but there isn't one. Well, I mean, obviously I bought it mainly for the recordings, so I'm really surprised to see that there's no booklet. I'll have to check the listing to see whether a booklet is promised. It probably isn't, and I suppose if that's the case, then it's just tough luck for me. But I'd still rather have it than not have it. So yeah, I mean, the records are in superb condition, but I'm disappointed that there's no booklet there. So there we are, yeah, the Chilingrian Quartet on, sorry, not errata, what am I talking about? Yeah, CRD. I mean, maybe there isn't a booklet. Yeah, no, there is. It says here, 3 records and a booklet. I'll have to contact him and ask him whether there is actually a booklet with this. But apart from that, I'm really pleased. So yeah, thanks for watching. And I've got some more videos planned, and I've also got more eBay items arriving. Let me know what your comments are, and bye for now.